Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Be Sober podcast with me, Lisa.
And me, Alex, who is about 300 years behind the times today. I couldn't even start the recording today. I don't know what's happened. Do you want to hear? I think I'm losing my mind, right? I've got 3 clients at a PT session every Wednesday morning. I've known them for months and months and months. And 2 of them have been
3 on
away
a Wednesday morning.
together.
On our working Wednesday.
Together. They're
You
all
said
in
you had
one.
one and you was waiting till she finished and then we was going to have our full Wednesday again.
It's
You've
at
just grassed yourself
7:30.
up. You've
It's
got
at
3 on a Wednesday
7:30.
morning. Not a point.
Together. They're all
Not a
in
point.
one. Anyway, they're
Oh.
all together and they're in one block at 7:30 till 8:15. All 3
I
of them.
dedicate the whole day to you guys. I'm mower. I'm mower.
Whereas I, on the other hand, clearly don't give a
shows a
shit.
face on the podcast and then fucks off doing some more PT sessions.
I don't have any more. I just spend my time at home now, chilling the rest of the day. But yeah, I clearly don't give a shit. So, but anyway, let me tell you this story. So all 3 of them, right? And I'm going to give you the names because there's no surnames and it's not even part of the story. But they're
Yeah,
basically
give me the names actually.
right.
I'll message them, tell them that you've cancelled.
They're basically called Vicky, Helen, and Caroline. And Helen and Vicky were both on holiday. So I just had Caroline this one day, right? So I'm there and I'm like, oh, I need the bigger space today because I've got 3 people. So Caroline said to me, keep up, everyone. I hope you're keeping up. Caroline said to me, oh, Vicky's away this week. And I went, oh, yeah, Helen's away as well. So it's just you. Right, don't matter where we use. I can use one space because I've only got Helen. Right, I didn't have Helen. Helen was away. I had Caroline. And I promise you, I like said it. And then I looked round to her and went, did I just call you Helen? She was like, yeah, you've just said it. Like, what's going on with my mind? I've known these women for months and I'm
I
doing
think
it.
that's easy to do when you're like rushing about and you've got 3 people in one. I think that's pretty easy to do.
All right, I'll give you another one.
I won't put you in like a nursing home just yet. I feel
You're
like
coming
we've
with
got
me
time.
when I go. You're coming with me, I've told you.
I feel like we've got a bit of time yet.
Yeah, we have, definitely. Here's another one, though. I work for the church, as you all know. And Louise, who's like been the person helping me do the music for 2 years. We were out having a drink because she's normal, even though she's part of the church, she's normal. And we were sat there having a drink.
Hold on a minute. What do you mean?
You know, people always go, oh, when I say she was out having a drink with me, I think they think that we all just sit in and knit because we go to the church.
All right. So you don't mean like you'd gone out for a drink?
No, not an alcoholic drink because I'm sober, Lisa.
Well, I'm pretty sure people know people from the church go out for a drink, for a coffee.
Well, you'd be surprised. Just like they think sober people can't have a life, they think church people can as well. So I'm the double whammy. I've got another thing to tell you about this now. They're all
God, I
flowing out.
can't cope.
I think I need to have like some medication here. Right.
Do you want
anyway,
one of my tablets?
I need one.
Honestly.
So I'm sat there, right? She's called Louise. Just let me make this clear. She's called Louise. And she was telling me a story about somebody I don't know. And she went, and she's called Marie like me. And I knew she wasn't called Marie. But I looked at her and then all of a sudden I couldn't remember she was called Louise. Turns out Marie's a middle name. But because she'd said she'd called Marie like me, I went blank and I thought, oh, what's her name?
Yeah, well, that's normal as well.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, who goes? She's called Marie like me, but actually called Louise.
No, I know. Anyway, so yeah, she's not called Marie, she's called Louise, but I couldn't remember her name. For the whole time I was there, I had to go to the toilet and check my text messages and go through my WhatsApp so I could find a name. Honestly. Because I really couldn't remember.
Right, listen, our guest is here.
No, wait. We can't have her in just yet. Let me message her. I'll message her and tell her we're late and it's my fault. I'll take the blame. I don't mind.
Oh my God. Well, can you message and tell your next story at the same time?
No, I don't know what my next story was now. I've forgotten. See what I mean? I'm mad. There's something gone on. What was I saying about my next story? Oh, Sam, listen to this. This one's quite funny. My husband, right? He told me the other day that I've committed fraud.
Why?
Because when he met me, I was a 30-year-old party animal who was like wild and carefree. And now apparently I'm a middle-aged, sober church organist.
To be fair, I think you might be right. It's been well done over. Most lads get done over because they wake up next to somebody and like the hair extensions fall out or their eyelashes or got tan on the pillow and they don't look like the person they went out with.
I've literally done him over.
You look as hot as you did when you met him. Oh my God, somebody's at my door.
Oh, well, it's all right. You can go and get the door because we've had this as well. But yeah, maybe I do look as hot as when I met him. But the point is, I'm talking to myself. For anyone who's watching the video, you now know I'm time filling. But the point is, whether I look hot or not, I have actually completely done a full personality transplant, and he's not got what he signed up for. But to be fair, I told him that I've not got what I signed up for either, because he's definitely like 20 kilograms heavier.
Parcel was for Olivia because she gets all the stuff delivered to me, and I've actually been really good and not been buying things since I've been on my ADHD tablets.
I've just insulted my husband and basically said that I've been shortchanged because he's 20 kilograms heavier, but I don't mean it like that. And now I feel like I've got to dig my way out of it. Can I just put it out there that I love my husband for him? Just for him.
Oh my God.
It's still a prick sometimes.
Can we please let Steph in and just save everybody? Right, listen, we are going to let Steph in. I don't know why we have not had Steph on this podcast before, because she is so lovely. She's been a fan of the podcast for ages. And if you have TikTok, you will know Steph. So let's bring her in, founder of The Afters.
Yeah, which we're hopefully going to hear all about. So she's just
She messaged us ages ago, Steph, like seasons and seasons ago, to actually ask us about binge drinking, because she classes herself as an ex-binge drinker, and wanted us to do a podcast on that. And we did at the time.
Did we?
Yeah, you weren't listening, were you?
I was binge drinking,
face in this blank space.
No, you know why I'm staring blankly? Because I can't get her here. She's in.
You forgot who we are. You forgot my name.
No, she's in, but her camera's off and I can't ask her to put it on. So I hope you can put your camera on, Steph, because you can hear us, hopefully. Can you hear us?
No, she's in the chat. She's trying.
While she's trying to sort it out, do you want to wait? I did 2 10K runs this week, Lise.
Oh, yes, you did.
So I did the Media City one. I've raised quite a bit of money. I did the Media City one, which went really well. I did that in just about 55 minutes, just under. And then I did the Cardiff one, which was really, really hard. But I met our lovely friend Ruth there. We went on a little Barry Island tour. She took us round.
I saw it on your story. It looks so good.
She got mobbed, absolutely mobbed in Barry. Which I suppose that you would do because it's Gavin and Stacey mad at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. So everybody recognised her.
Oh, yeah. And it took a few seconds because I think some people were doing double takes, and it was quite funny when we pulled up. So we pulled up outside Marco's Cafe, which is the cafe that features right on Barry Island, right on the front. And he's lovely, the guy that owns it, called Marco, funnily enough. I didn't forget his name. And and in front of the sign where all the Gavin and Stacey characters are, me and Ruth were getting photos of me and her next to Ness. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I saw on your story.
But what's really funny about it is like people were still trying to take photos of themselves with Ness and like double taking.
Not Ruth.
Yeah. They did take it with Ruth as well, obviously, when they recognised and realised she was there. But when we were sat in her car pulling up, it was quite funny watching them get photos with Ness when the real Ruth was next to me.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Oh, I'm gutted that I missed it.
Do you know what? Out of the 10 people, Lisa, I was the only original left. Everybody dropped out, like everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, let me just kick this one, Steph, out.
Oh, I hope you've kicked the right one out.
Well, I don't know. Well, wait till she comes on and then I can kick the other one out.
Oh, hold on a minute. Yes, we've got her. She just needs to unmute and then we've got her. Unmute, Steph, and we've got you. Hold on.
Unmute, right. Yeah. Wasn't think for working IT.
I was literally going to say, Steph, every time I go on my phone, you are there on my TikTok. Yeah, a Zoom call. How hard was that?
Do you know what it is, right? I think I've been hanging around with people with ADHD too much because
Oh
right,
gosh, you better get off the podcast. Get off, Steph. Get off.
anybody who knows me knows that I will be stressing out right now. I messaged Lisa just before this and I was like, asking her about some health insurance. I was going to message you about today and I was like, is it not the 4th? And then I looked down at the camera and I was like, it's today. So I've literally, because I work from home, I just work in my active wear like we all do. I've literally got my active wear on, got an outfit on, stuck some red lip on because I thought red lip makes you look like you know what you're talking about, and not even done the back of my hair. Like I'm like, oh, like,
Well, then you've come on and shown us anyway.
The funny thing is, Steph, if you see me every single time I come on here, I've normally got gym hair because I've just finished PTing too many people, apparently. Shorts. Yeah, you've made an effort for like no point, really, because I never do, but you look lovely.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
There is a point. Alex were just telling us about, she's just done 2 10K runs this weekend. And what I was just going to say is, well, when Steph gets on, you're in train. Have you just done your last run of a sim before your first half marathon?
My last long run. So that it was meant to be 16, but I missed my 16 because I was at a festival. So I did my last 10K and then I'm doing 4K tonight and then I'm done and then I'm running half a marathon.
Have you never done one before?
No, honestly, I think I must have been on something when I signed up for it because whatever possessed me, I don't know. It started with Couch to 5K and I was like, I don't even like running and now I'm running half a marathon.
Oh,
That's
you'll be fine.
amazing.
Yeah,
Do you
you'll be
like
fine.
it anymore now though, Steph?
There's something called like a zone 2 run, isn't there, where it's like you're not really like sweating out your arse. I like that. That's all right.
Yeah.
Run your half marathon like a zone 2. Because
Right.
then you'll last it. So I sometimes go in too quick at the start. I think the key is start a little bit quick, not too quick, then taper off and then finish quick.
Finish quick, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy it because apparently like the atmosphere is amazing there. And the crowd will keep me going because the furthest I've ever run is, I think it's 15K, which was by accident. I've never actually ran 20K.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Honestly, if you can do 50, if you can do 10, you can do 20. Honestly, as long as you don't go too quick. And last time I did a half marathon was last year, and I did it with the same people I did my 10K with the other night. And one of them, she was slower than the rest of us by 20 minutes. So I went off like a bullet with the vicar, who also went off like a bullet and then held back. She came in 20 minutes after, and when she come in, she was like, oh, did you see the alpacas? Oh my God, did you see the cows? And I was like, no, I saw the floor. And honestly, she had a far better time than me. So just enjoy it and take your time.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cut this whole chat to where the vicar went off like a bullet and advertised that to make it more interesting for those who hate running.
Those who hate running or those who think that church people just stay at home, because we've had both conversations now.
Well, I don't think they go off like a bullet.
He did. It was well fast. Do you know he ran his 10K the other night in under 44 minutes or something like that? Well
That
fast.
is good.
Yeah, bullet. Telling you.
Right. Sorry, I got so distracted. I've got my lip gloss in my hand, and because you've got red lipstick on, the only thing in my brain is I need to put some lip gloss on. So I can't think of anything else.
And this, Steph, is why you shouldn't be here having hung around with people with ADHD for too long, right? You'll now see that I also hang around with people with ADHD too much. You can tell. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I've just got this book, look.
What is it? Read it out.
ADHD 2.0.
You're going to actually be able to read it?
Like, well, I've had a tablet today and I've obviously opened it just in the middle. But yeah, there's some proper interesting stuff on it, you know.
Have you been smelling it? She sniffs Steph.
Long story, Steph. But yeah, it says stuff like things that are useful and things that are problematic. So one of the things that is useful for somebody with ADHD, let's have a look, can get a lot done in a short amount of time. But the problematic stage of that is fundamentally different sense of time. There is only now and not now in the world. So procrastination can sometimes rule and rarely get things done. That
She
was so
hates my
ADHD. Like
timekeeping.
nobody asked, did they? I've just picked the book up and read that, and it has nothing to do with the conversation.
But also, Lisa, you hate poor timekeeping. Like me, you can't bear it when I'm on the minutes, can you? You can't bear it.
No, but I've learned about that. The reason that I am so ridiculously early for things is because I'm so feared of being late for things. So I have time blindness, but it's not that I'm late. It's just that I'm so scared of being late. I sit around for 2 hours before in my car like this.
I found that really interesting what you said. I think it was on your TikTok around when you've got something to do, you find it difficult to do anything before it because you focus on that. And I do that.
Yeah.
Well,
they
see,
say
I
we've
just
all
do
got a
everything.
little
I
bit-
just do loads. Or even when I've got appointments, just crack on with my day. Like I was
Yeah.
getting a train to Cardiff on Saturday at like 12:30 in the afternoon. I know for a fact that I'd be Lisa's morning consumed with going to Cardiff. I was like out walking the dog, thinking, just chilling.
You
till
know what
time.
though? Honestly, since I've started, I'm trialing like the medication for myself, not for a company row.
Yeah, let's just make it clear there's no big pharma involvement here.
I'm experimenting, but I have found that that's some of the things that I can do now. So I know if I've got an appointment later, I've done things like walk the dog, but not in a rush or trying to get home. I've done it in a more relaxed way and been able, it's just where I'm really, really benefiting from the meds. But anyway, enough about that, Steph. Let's talk about you and what you're up to. So I just said then you are now the founder of the Afters.
I am, yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Because it looks amazing. Watching your life just change over this last couple of years has been so interesting. I've loved it. I've loved it. But this looks like you are having an absolute blast, are you?
Yeah, I am actually. I don't have a clue what I'm doing like the rest of us. We're just winging it, but I seem to be winging it in the right directions and it's going in the direction more aligned to me and where I am on my journey. But it's more around like a blog. So the Afters it's a bit of a play on words, like anything can happen at the Afters, anybody turns up, you never know what's going to happen, but also like life after you've made a decision to change your life, whether that be through drink or drugs or whatever. Once you've made a decision, what do we do afterwards to have fun and like deal with it and things like that? So bit of a play on words. And yeah, it's more like a blog really around the stuff that I get up to, sort of showing people that I've changed my life, like completely changed my life unexpectedly as well. And my life hasn't stopped because I've made a decision. It's actually, escalated and snowballed. So it's all around the stuff that I'm doing to have fun, build my confidence, deal with my anxiety, my camper van adventures, my Bertie adventures. Somehow fell into interviewing celebrities. I don't know how that's happened.
I saw, was that Pete Doherty the other day? Like, what the hell?
Honestly, my arse was falling out.
I loved it. Every time I scroll past, I'm like, what? Who's that? What is she doing? It's amazing, Steph.
Yeah, thank you. And and part of the interviews that I'm doing with these people as well is all around just proving that everybody feels anxiety, everybody feels nerves, but we're doing it anyway. And most people are just winging it. And it's showing people that even the people up there at the top of the game or like doing really well that we look up to, actually they have the same fears as us. So all the interviews I've been doing are around that sort of angle, which is, it's really nice to speak to people about.
It's so good. So can we take you back a little bit then to how this started? And because the first time I think you contacted me, I think a few years ago, was it the waterfall, that hidden waterfall? Do you remember originally? I think that was the first.
I remember binge watching all of, because I feel a bit fangirly now, like, oh my God, I'm on their podcast and I was listening to their podcast. And I remember listening to the first one thinking, you two and me, like, when did I record this? Like, I just related to you so much. So yeah, I think back in 2021 it might have been. It was when I first decided to have a break from drinking. So yeah, that's all it was really, like a break from drinking, take a month off, see how it feels. And it kind of went from like to what it is now. It was only meant to be a month. I was only meant to be having a month off, clearing my anxiety up, And at the end of that month, I ended up, my skin was better, my energy was better, my sleep was better, my body shape was changing, my energy, my anxiety had gone. And then I decided to kind of carry on this break from alcohol for another couple of months. So I did sort of 3 months, and then that was September to December in 2021. Then December, I went back to drinking because it was my birthday, and nobody wants a sober birthday because they're boring. Little do I know. And then I went back to drinking in December, and then January 2022, all my anxiety started to come back, and I was like, oh, I need to stop drinking again. But I can't just stop drinking. I need to sort of have a goal to work towards as well. So I was doing all this stuff to help me stop drinking, unexpectedly, like doing all of the right stuff, surrounding myself with sober content like podcasts, keeping a journal, changing my habits, changing my routine. But like long term, I need something to kind of focus me. So I decided that all of the money that I would have spent on booze, I'll just put it in a pot and save up to get a vintage camper van. And that's what I did. I put all my money away, and I ended up buying a rundown camper van, and I've been doing her up ever since. She's called Ruby. She's named after me nana, Rubin. I take my dog on adventures.
Before we talk about your camper van, can I just bring you back to the anxiety piece? Just because we've had some questions on this, right? And I think it's a really good opportunity to bring it up. We haven't talked about this for a while. When you were drinking, you had anxiety. Did it go away immediately? And before you answer the question, I was the other way. I never had any beer fear, any anxiety, anything. But when I stopped drinking, I became really, really anxious for quite a while. It actually got worse for me before it got better. I think, Lisa, what were you like? Did you go the other way?
No, it's really weird, actually. It's not an easy one to answer. It's quite long-winded, isn't it, for all of us, I'd imagine. So, but I know now, and only looking back in hindsight, and especially now with the diagnosis of ADHD, why I was so anxious when I was drinking. And so as people, like if me and Alex used to go out and we'd drink and we'd wake up the next day and she'd
hang on a minute, just reverse. Sorry, Lisa. If we went out and
when we went out, when we went out drinking, we'd wake up the next day and I'd be like, oh my God, I hate myself. Oh my, and she'd be like, why? What, you've not done anything. You've not, and I'd be like, oh, I have. And it wasn't necessarily the things that I'd done or that I'd said. It was this feeling inside of dread and despair, and it was awful. It would literally be like my world had come tumbling down. And I never ever put it with drinking, weirdly, even though it was hangover, and it used to seep into every day. I'm not going to say that my anxiety has gone because I've stopped drinking, but what that dread and that fear and that awfulness of the day after has gone. I can now phone people in the week, or I can answer an uncalled number, which I perhaps wouldn't have done before, but I still get really anxious. Like, so it's not eradicated it,
right?
But I don't have anxiety. Does that make sense?
So would you reckon yours makes it easier to manage now then?
Yeah.
I mean, if I get anxiety, I think it's normal now. I have normal levels of anxiety. But honestly, I think when I first stopped, it was quite, I don't know whether it was just because I was anxious that I'd stopped, but I felt really really raw with anxiety for about 30 days. So what's your experience, Steph?
So mine's probably similar and a bit different as well. So I constantly walked around with this feeling of dread, like something bad was going to happen, and I felt like somebody was going to die in my family all the time. It was a horrible feeling that I couldn't put my finger on, and I never put it down to drinking. I didn't realize it was anything to do with drinking, but I'd be walking around with this feeling. But then if I went out and I'd like a big blowout on a night out, the day after when I woke up, the shame and the feeling that I'd wake up with, mainly because I'd been blacking out and I couldn't remember half the night, and then people telling me stuff that I'd done, and it would make me cringe, and I'd be like, oh God, please don't tell me. So that was like a big blow of anxiety. So when I stopped drinking, I actually was on anxiety pills from the doctor as well, because I just couldn't shift that anxiety. And I work in IT, I'm a business analyst, and I have to speak on the phone. Now I speak on the phone because everything's virtual, but I used to have to present in meetings or, like whole presentations and things. And I just couldn't do it. My anxiety was just horrendous. It was through the roof. I had no confidence. So I was on these anxiety pills. And then when I decided to take a break from drinking, it didn't go straight away, but it kind of got replaced each weekend with the anxiety of not being able to drink. Like, how am I going to have fun now, and how am I going to relax? So like, my focus was on that. But then when I didn't drink and I woke up in the morning, it would be like a sense of achievement that, oh yes, I did it, and that dopamine like ended up getting replaced. So I'd say after the month, my anxiety was nowhere near as bad as what it was. It wasn't completely gone. And like you now, I feel like it's normal anxiety, like before you do an interview with someone or before you do something on your own. Because a lot of what I do is solo, like I went to Glastonbury solo, and I had anxiety doing that. But once I've got there, I was fine. And I think anybody would have anxiety going to Glastonbury on their own. But it's just normal. So yeah, I don't think it went straight away, but it definitely improved after a month. And now I feel like I'm just not like a normal anxious person.
Yeah, I get that. And it comes across that on your stuff, I think, Steph. I think it's really nice that your TikTok is so genuine and lovely. And that is why probably you've got so many amazing followers. And I find myself just watching one after the other. I can't work out the timeline on where you are right now because they do come up quite a lot. But I think it shows that you have them anxieties, and you do a really good well of getting across that, yeah, I'm anxious. Yes, this is quite normal to feel anxious, but I'm going to go and do it anyway. And you are showing people that you can achieve all this incredible stuff. What I do want to ask you about, and let's take it to drinking, is just because I'm genuinely really intrigued, Steph, is so right now, I know we've chatted a little bit. So I know your journey hasn't been like linear, and I would class myself now as sober. Alex would class herself as sober. You was always Steph, ex-binge drinker. So I kind of want to take you to that a little bit, because you're not classing yourself as sober. I know it's got you into a little bit of TikTok trouble
TikTok
over
prison.
TikTok, yeah, over the. I know, but I'd just like be really nice, because one of the questions I want to ask is, you have gone back to drinking, not like you were. Is that correct?
That's not correct. No.
Right, go on then.
Right. So I haven't gone back to drinking, but I have had a drink.
Right.
A controlled drink. And this is the difference. So I have always said, like, I'm an ex-binge drinker. It's a break. I don't know whether I'll go back to drinking. I've tried to be open with that because I didn't want to pigeonhole myself with saying sober. If I've ever used sober or the word sober on my TikTok, it's usually for aesthetic reasons because it fits nicely in the wording. But I do try to say I'm sober curious or I'm an ex-binge drinker. And during the whole time that I haven't drank, there was one time that I did relapse where I didn't plan to drink, and it was off the back of emotions. And then the most recent time that's got me into trouble, I planned it because it was taking up too much time in my head. I was thinking I was missing out on things. I was seeing my friends do things, and I was like, I'm sure there's something called a 2-year itch, because the amount of people that has messaged me about it. So I tactically decided that I was going to have a drink. And a bit of that as well is a lot of people reach out to me on social media who need professional support and are asking me for help, and I can't relate to some people, and it's a lot of pressure on me, and a lot of people were kind of putting their own sobriety journey on me not drinking as well, and that pressure was a lot to handle. Like, so I was like, all of this pressure, and then it was my friend's party, and I was like, do you know what, if I'm missing it that much, I'm just going to see what I'm missing. So for me in my situation, who doesn't class himself as being in recovery, that's fine. I only said I was taking a month off the booze. It's like 3 years later and I've not had a drink. If I wanted to itch it and just see, do you know what I mean? To me, it's not that bad. So I had a drink, and do you know what? Right, if it would have been the old me, I'd have been up till the birds were tweeting. Right, I took 1 bottle of Prosecco. I had the bottle of Prosecco, and because I felt myself getting drunk, I was like, actually, I don't like being not in control.
Yeah.
And I took myself home at 11 o'clock, and rather than waking up after my relapse thinking, I hate myself, I've lost all of them days, I feel like shit. It took me a long time to get over that first one. I woke up and I thought, you know what, let's put it into perspective. I said I was going to have a drink. I wanted to see what it was like. I've got up. I've not done anything wrong. In fact, it's taught me a lot. Everything's a lesson, and that's all it was. It's taught me a lesson. So for now, I want to kind of say to myself, if I want to drink going forward, nobody is going to influence my opinion. No one is going to make me feel like I can't do it. But just actually using that mentality in my head is helping me not drink, because I've scratched the itch. Actually, I've realised I've not missed that much. But if I want to in the future have a glass of wine, well, I will do. But I've not actually.
Do you know what, Steph? I massively, massively respect you for this, right? Because we all too often, all of us, probably even us included sometimes, can go, sobriety's this, sobriety's that, sobriety's that. But actually, for me, more and more, and Lisa and I have talked about this, choice is what's important.
Yeah.
Control is what's important. You know, being able to do what is right for you is what's important. So I massively respect you. And I think it's incredibly brave to step out and go, excuse, you didn't say it like this, but I'm gonna. If I want a fucking drink, I'll have one. Oh, TikTok.
Yeah.
I fully agree. And I massively respect you as well, because, you know, you could have done so easily, especially on the platform you've kind of built, is you could have hid it. You could have been, you know, and you didn't. And you've come out and gone, well, actually, I have a choice, and you do it. And yes, all right, there is people out there that unfortunately do not have a choice, or they see that they do not have a choice. And I get that.
And maybe they don't, Lisa. Like, my dad couldn't go back to drinking. He had a drink, relapsed, and passed away. Do you know what I mean? There are people who cannot do it.
Just throw that in. Why don't you?
I think it's really important, though. I do. I know that was said really flippantly, but I do think it's really important. And Steph did acknowledge it. Yeah. Nobody's sat here saying, go and try it and see how you are. No. What you're saying is that was right for you and your choice. If you'd have been in recovery, and I'm pretty sure you said this a second ago in a different way, if you'd have been in recovery, you'd have known not to go and have one. You're not in recovery.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know,
is there a tiny bit of you a bit pissed off that you went home at 11 and didn't go for it? Like, I just
I was going for it
the next day when they were still up, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I made that choice.
I don't know whether let's say this was me now. Genuinely, I've been curious at times what would happen if I did it again. But the bigger part of my brain, and Lisa, I've talked to Lisa about this behind closed doors, the bigger part of my brain kind of knows that if I did it once, I would just go back to what I were doing. I would just be doing it every weekend, and I would just be doing not necessarily drinking, so I'd need professional help, but it would just interfere. I wouldn't be able to switch it back off like you have, I don't think.
Yeah.
Not worth the risk for me, but that don't mean you shouldn't.
Yeah. And I mean, I still have to work at it. Like, I was at a festival at the weekend, and I was like, oh, it would be nice to have a glass of Prosecco, but my control of it now is my thought process around, well, what will it give me? Will it add anything to it? And I go through the process. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do with the afters. Like, it's all about like the fun side of not drinking, but also I am still on a journey. Like, everybody's still on a journey, and it's still me sharing my journey. And I know I've pissed people off. Well, not even pissed a lot of people off. A lot of people were really supportive. Like, there was a lot more support than there wasn't. And that's fine, because obviously the people that weren't supportive, they're obviously not relating to me. The stuff that I'm putting out is not for them, and that's absolutely fine.
Just tell them to click unfollow, go and get on with your own.
You know what? I get it though. I get every single side of this. I think, like, I really, really do. I think absolutely you have the right to make your own decisions. I think it's really interesting, and I love that I can ask you questions about it without having to do it myself. Does that make sense? Yeah. I agree. I think everybody gets the itch, like they do. I'm 6 years sober now, which is I can't even believe it, to be honest. My world, my life is so much better. So everything that is good in my life, I know, is because of the decision I made to go sober. But that doesn't mean that there aren't times that I think, would it be just good to go out, me and Rob, and get pissed one night? And then it's that thought process that comes in, like you said, what would it really give me? What would it do? Blah, blah, blah. And And I get it. And I think, but I also get people that have been kind of following you and they've gone, you know, if they're a little bit unsteady or they've classed themselves as very similar to you, but actually couldn't go back to drinking because it would ruin their life, you've been kind of this person to them, haven't you? And they've gone, oh my God, like, I don't know. It's a massive responsibility that I don't think, especially going into it, that you would have thought you had. You know, like you were just sharing your honest journey. And then somehow along them lines, it's become a bit of a responsibility, hasn't it?
Exactly.
And you, and I would say in very ADHD style, Steph, have gone like, fuck this, fuck that. You know, it is my journey. It is this. And I know that some people will know you from the Flamingos before. And we're not going to delve into that. Honestly, I'm going to save you from it. I really don't. You know, I don't. And if people,
it's gone. It's in the past.
It's in the past. This is the new chapter. I wish everybody well. Honestly, this is the afters. Is the new. It's the afters. So
this is what it is. It's the afters, and this is what you've created, and this is why we wanted to get you on here so you could share that with us and talk about it. And what you've done is just gone for it. I'm not gonna lie, from the minute I met you, Steph, and saw your TikTok, I have said the whole time is I want her to be part of Be Sober. I want her on Be Sober, honestly. And as soon as I saw that with the Flamingos, I was like, Steph, you know,
what are you up to for the next 10 years?
I'm gutted I can't come to your retreat next week. My friends are getting married. I would have come otherwise.
I know. Do you know that? And we've not told anybody on the podcast, I don't think, this yet, but this got pulled from under us literally last week. So I have realised that now we don't need an events manager because me and Alex are shit at it.
We're actually really good.
We got an email last Saturday when we were together.
And we're just never together though, are we? I know we never like we're never together.
And Alex said, oh, we've got an email to read. It says urgent. And I was like, oh, right, okay. We read it and we was like, what the fuck? Literally an email. The campsite's staying shut through September. We won't be able to find another venue at this short notice. So therefore, you'll get a refund. It's cancelled. It was like, it's in 2 weeks' time.
Well,
you sorted it though.
Well, this is what happened, Steph, right?
We've smashed it, Steph.
In about this happened within 10 minutes, right? It went alternating between the two of us. Oh no, oh no, oh no, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do. While the other one was going, we'll sort it. And then the other one would have a meltdown. And then all of a sudden we went, right, come on. Lisa went off and found a campsite. I got in touch with a load of people. She got in touch with a load of people. Next thing, we've organised Be Wild in 4 days.
Amazing. Nothing like
on a bank holiday weekend it was, and we'd managed on that bank holiday to secure by Saturday night. We'd secured bell tents, we'd secured a campsite, we'd secured a marquee, we'd secured like people coming to do the events, and we was like, what? Like,
that's incredible.
I am really proud of us, and
we were knackered though. Can I just say we were knackered and exhausted and like?
Oh, it's going to be the best one yet. It's going to be the best one yet. But you came to a Be Wild, didn't you?
I loved it. Yeah, apart from having to be back in a tent like the peasants.
Yeah. But everybody's got posh tents this year. They've got like glamping pods and bell tents and stuff. So. Yeah.
So I take it by the fact that you're talking about being in tents like the peasants, this is now relating to your camper van.
Yes, I don't tent in like the peasants anymore. I've got a camper van and heating and like washing up facilities in the van.
You said you've done up more than one van.
No, God no. This is a passion project. It was meant to be a hobby.
Okay.
It's draining the money pit out of me. Just one van, and that's probably going to be it for the rest of my life.
It's been hard for you, hasn't it? I've seen that.
Yeah, but do you know what it is, right? Because I don't know anything about vans and I bought an old van, that probably wasn't a very good idea.
I know, you get it, the vintage van, it'll be dead cute, but obviously it's got
vintage. I looked at the aesthetics, not the actual mechanics of it. No, I did. I took a mechanic with me, but I've still had problems with it, but I love her and we're doing a rub, and yeah, I've spent a lot on her and she's getting there. She's still leaking in places, but we call it character now and we deal with it.
We were in Lisa's van on the way to the last Be Wild in May, and we just kept pulling her over and giving her a drink. And honestly, we humanised her that much that even people at the campsite thought we had a third person with us.
Yeah, they did. We said, oh, we're going to be a little bit late because we had to keep stopping to give Lucy a break. So they don't know that the van's called Lucy, also named after my grandma. It was my grandma's middle name. So
No.
it was like,
we've been doing a lot of names.
I know.
Lisa, excuse me.
If you listen to the beginning of this podcast, you'll know what I'm saying.
Who does that, Lisa?
Who does that? Who even does that? But yeah, it's Lucy was my grandma's middle name. But by the time we got to Be Wild, we got there and Fiona that was there was like, oh, is everybody all right? So I'm looking, thinking, what's she looking at? She was looking for Lucy, the other person in the van, because we had pictures.
She had like visions of this unconscious, dehydrated woman.
Oh dear. I like your van journeys. My mum's gone away for solo as well, Steph. She shares her little van journeys on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, I don't even think she knows what she's doing fully, but she shares it on there. And honestly, you'd actually love it. She has such good van journeys, but she's gone to do.
Can we tell everyone what it is? Because they might want to follow her.
I want to follow her.
2.5 weeks she's doing in a van, going to Scotland. So she's going to the lake.
500?
No, she's not. She's not actually. I don't know whether she's doing parts of it.
It's Trish Goes Travelling.
On Instagram, it's Trish Goes Travelling. Yeah. That's the one that she will. Oh God.
Oh no. Only go on if you are open-minded.
Yeah, you've got to be open-minded.
Oh dear.
What does that mean? You can't just leave us hanging like that.
She's a character, my mum. She's very.
Yeah, she's very
she's amazing.
She'll say what she thinks and she won't suffer fools. There we go.
Sounds like a nice woman. I like that.
She's lovely.
Yeah, I think you'd really like it. Go on and follow her afterwards, and I'll get her to follow you because she'll really love like all your van adventures and solo women as well. I think it's so good.
I love it going on my own. I actually prefer it going on my own than when my husband's with me.
I get
do you know what?
Steph.
That's so funny because I just presumed that you didn't have a husband. You just seem that independent.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
He hates it.
Oh, what a shame. Well, it is a shame, but it's not. But it's nice actually that you can show two worlds. Do you know what I mean? That you can show, because not many people think that they can do stuff when they're single and on their own, and not many people too think they can do stuff on their own when they're in a relationship. So it's really nice to kind of show that.
I
think such an inspiration.
Oh. You always get people saying things, though, don't you? Like, someone's got something to tell. There's no point in you being married. I mean, we've been together nearly 20 years, but
yeah, why do you think I've got a van, love?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Is that what somebody said? That?
Yeah, someone said, I don't see any point in you being married. So I was like, has our marriage been away for all these years?
So was that someone on TikTok as well?
Yeah, you've got to.
You should have said, "Shut up! I'm going having a glass of wine." No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more then about the afters, right? So, what is it and what's it going to be? What's your vision?
Right. So it's kind of a blog at the minute. So it's like it's a subscription newsletter, but it's for free. And I want to share things like what I've been up to and show the fun side. Also working with some brands as well. So there'll be like space on there if you've got an alcohol-free events company or an alcohol-free brand, or just doing something that doesn't involve alcohol. Get like new messages out there to people, because I've got obviously quite a big following on TikTok, and I've got my subscription now. I think it's like nearly at 1,500. I think, I can't remember last time I checked. It was like, it went crazy as soon as I opened it up.
And when did you open that?
Oh God, was it like less than 2 months ago? It's not been long.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because I've got started filming a podcast as well, which I was going to invite you to on. But it's going to be a podcast from the van, filmed in the van, and it's going to be
Oh,
on
that's
YouTube
such
as
a
well.
cool idea.
Yeah, so I've done the first episode. I'm just finishing that editing up, and then I'll put that out, and then it'll be like different, similar to what you're doing, different conversations each week. I don't want it just all to be about me, but I will touch on subjects like my anxiety, my blackouts, but also get people in like what they're doing in their afters, what does it mean for them, and just talk about all stuff like that. So it's going to be more around like sharing stories and things like
It's
that.
giving me goose pimples, that. Honestly, it's giving me full-on goose pimples. I think that is such a cool idea.
Yeah,
really
I've got some brands on board as well, actually. So I've got like free stuff to give out. I've got discounts to give out, and I want to go down that route really. I don't know if I'm going to go back into the event side of it, because obviously we had the parties with Flamingo, which I loved, but yeah, I'm probably not ready to go back down that route yet.
Yeah,
well,
it's a lot of pressure.
when and if and when you do, like, I think you'll have the right people at those events, because if you're going in a way that is telling people, look, I'm not about recovery, I'm about living life after and seeing what it's like almost like you're living life in a bit of an experimental mode, I think.
Yeah,
which is kind of in line with us, you know what I mean? That's what we do. Even though we both say no, we're sober, we do treat every day as an experiment to just see what things are like. So I think you'll get the right following to those events. It won't be the same. So I think you should go for it. Yeah. Personally, you
Just
didn't ask, but that's what I think.
The recovery side, it definitely, it's for everyone. So whether you drink, that's the difference with the afters. Actually, I probably should say that it's not just about being sober. If you drink but you want to cut down your drinking, you want more dry days, and that works for you, that's what this is for as well. Because I found that I don't want it just to be pigeonholed, like you've got to be sober to like do this. That might not be the choice for you. You might be happy drinking, but not drinking as much, and like wanting ideas to do where you've not got the drinking. But also the recovery side as well. It's absolutely for people in recovery. Like I love people in recovery, and this is for them as well. It's just that I'm not trained to help you get sober, and that was my point. It's like
it's not about support.
skilled.
It's not what it's not is not support for people. It's right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, when we started Be Sober, and we had the sober experiment, and then we eventually became Be Sober, I wanted to do support. I really wanted to do support. Lisa always wanted to do events and community and and being together, and we brought them together. But actually, what the reason is, and it makes sense, is the further along sober we've gone, the less about support we've become, because we don't need support. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has naturally
it's really
evolved
hard.
that way.
We had a bit of an identity crisis ourselves. I think you just in it, we decided that we weren't doing the Be Sober podcast anymore. We was going to rebrand and do a new name and all these things. We literally had a full-on identity crisis, didn't we? Of what did we want from it? For me, I think Be Sober has always been about connection. And it always will be. From the very beginning, when I first decided to stop drinking, I didn't know another soul that didn't drink that was like me. And I needed that, which is really weird, because I'm actually not really good at being at events. So like, I really wanted to meet people, but I don't know if you
did want to meet people. I think you just wanted to connect people and send them off.
Yeah, I think that's where I buzz off that. Like for me, watching like in the Facebook group, or when we go to Be Wild and seeing what Be Sober has done for people makes me really, really happy. I don't feel like I need to be in there and a part of it as such. Does that make sense? It does everything for me in a really selfish way, just watching people.
Whereas I have to be right in the middle going, look over here.
Yeah, and that's why it works really well. But then sometimes I get FOMO and I'm like, hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, that's we have all sorts. You'll see who's written stuff. Sometimes we're Lisa and Alex, sometimes we're Alex and Lisa. We just decided to go with it for that reason. Because honestly, Lisa just really stepped back at one point and wasn't really there. And then she was like, hang on a minute, I started this. Bring it back out. So there's that. Yeah, it's been a weird journey, hasn't it, Lisa? Really, we've done a lot of discovery along the way.
Yeah, and I think this last 12 months, more than anything, to be honest, is
we're
where
both pretty happy just sat back watching now. To be fair,
yeah,
I said
our ambassadors.
I'm not.
The ambassadors do such an amazing job, don't
They are
they?
amazing, yeah.
Really do of connecting people. And I think that's what it's like. I just want to sit back now and watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to answer
Watch my
emails and
magic.
shit. I don't- yeah. So do you have anything in the pipeline then, Steph?
What have I
Other
got
than the
for-
podcast? Have we got any more not concerts, festivals coming up?
So I think I've just done my last festival, which was the Rock and Roll Circus in Sheffield, which was a new festival, and it's only been going 2 years, and it's celebrating like Sheffield acts. So they have a lot of people who have made it from Sheffield coming on, and then obviously other celebs as well, singers and things. So that was the last one. I am trying my hardest to get Oasis tickets.
Oh, don't. We
That's
was in
all I'm thinking
as
about.
well.
Did you
I
get
saw
it?
that. I saw that you'd got to one. Bethany, we were all in the queue. All my full family was in the queue, and Bethany got to 0, and it did an error.
Did
And
it
I'm
just
like,
say,
come on, yeah. And I loved what you said. Like at the end, you was like, well, I didn't want piss thrown on me anyway.
Honestly, I reckon I'm the only person in the north of England, probably in England.
No, you're not,
even
because
tried.
people like to tell you that they don't
Yeah.
care.
Do
they're
they?
not off.
Yeah,
they?
they love saying, oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm just not even trying. It's not that I don't want to see them. I just know how hard it has. I'd love to see them, but I just know how hard it's been for everybody that I just can't be asked even trying.
Yeah, the PR companies that I work with, like, because that have helped me get to these festivals, I've been like messaging like, you're not doing the PR for Oasis, are you? Like, wink, wink.
I know. Well, if you get them, wink, wink.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said to the so I interviewed a band called The K's, and they're trying to support Oasis. So I was like, well, now we're mates. Like,
Yeah, I can't believe how hard it was to get tickets. Like that was ridiculous. We'd just been to see Liam Gallagher, me and Rob, a few weeks ago as well. So a part of me feels like not as desperate to go, because he did all like the Definitely Maybe album, and it was brilliant, and he was brilliant, and I loved it. I've met Liam once in a bar in Manchester, and I've got a picture with him, dead close up picture, but I look horrific on it, so I've never been able to share it.
you don't.
No, I do. I'm going like this with my hand.
That'll make you funnier.
Why am I doing that? Why?
All of your experiences with famous people, like you either don't want to talk about them, don't want to share them, or don't want to show photos of them.
No, it's because I always make a dick of myself.
You do not. You do not.
I do. But right,
Where
Steph,
can people
anything that-
follow Steph? Like before you do the ask, where can they follow you? Where's the best places?
Best place is TikTok. So I'm Steph Smith AF on TikTok, and same on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well. And then I've got my website, which is www.theafters.co. And there you can subscribe to my monthly blog and like get access to all of the podcasts and the YouTube and all of the discounts and giveaways and things like that. So yeah, I think they're the 3 main things, really.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm about to go to Southeast Asia as well, so I'll be blogging from there. So
what are you doing there?
Just travelling around for a bit. So
Are you going on your own or with your husband?
No, my husband's coming.
Oh, right. That's the answer to the person who said, what's the point in being married? We're going away.
Yeah, it's through thought actually, so I shouldn't roll my face at that. I'm sorry, I love you.
How long are you going for?
I've called my husband a prick on this podcast at the beginning, don't worry.
Oh, did you?
And he isn't. He's lovely. Don't know why I did it. It was just attention seeking. Go on.
What were I saying? Oh, how long are you going for?
3 weeks. I know it's not
Oh,
massive
that'll be
travelling. I've got a mortgage and a job that I have to stand up. So
I know, it's so annoying.
Normal
Do you
stuff get in the way.
reckon you'll end up leaving your job?
No, definitely
No, because this is public and gone out broadcast all
No,
over.
you know what? I don't think I would actually, because I love being a business analyst. It's like my profession as well, and I like where I work and what I do, and so I like that I've got that, and then I've got the other stuff, the social media separate. It's nice.
Yeah.
That's the tactical answer.
It is. Lisa was going to ask you, I think, before if there was anything that we haven't asked you that you want to add or tell us about before we finish.
Oh God, I could have saved that trip, couldn't I, for this bit? Can you not edit that out and put that back in?
No, if you've got nothing else to say, just say, no, I'm bored of you now. There's nothing else to say.
Right, what have we covered? We've covered the after, the festivals. Yeah, no, I think that's it. If you're the type of person that I am that's anxious and like doesn't have a clue what they're doing in life and winging everything, we all are, just go for it. And you never know what'll happen. I'm bloody sat there interviewing Pete Doherty one day and then in meetings, you know, working in a corporate job the next. Like, just go for it.
I loved that. I loved what you asked him as well. Like, how do you think of stuff like that?
What did she ask him?
She'd asked what his opinion were of Oasis. So how long ago were it when he gave it?
27 years ago, he got interviewed outside HMV for Oasis, one of Oasis' new albums, and he got put on the spot with MTV and asked what his opinion of Oasis was, and he just said trousers. So it was the day the tickets went on sale, so I just took the opportunity and he was like, what's your opinion on Oasis? Is it still trousers? And he went, absolutely.
But how did you know to do that?
Well, I don't want to admit it.
Oh, come on. Just to make me feel better, Steph. Come on.
Steph.
Darren knew about the original interview and he told.
Yeah, but that's so good. You know what? I think our partners have a lot more to do with what we do than we perhaps give them credit for, in truth. Because, you know, Rob sits there sometimes with me and he comes up with these ideas and I go, yeah, whatever. And I don't really listen. And then like a few weeks will go by and I'll be like, Alex, I think we should do this, blah, blah. And then Rob will be like,
oh, do you, Lisa?
Oh, do you? That's a really good idea. Or he'll send me stuff that's, I don't watch the news ever. And he will send me kind of stuff that's in the news that's alcohol free and then sometimes I'll post it. It'll get quite good reactions. And I've not even said thanks to him on message.
Should we do that now?
I've just seen it and gone, oh yeah, that's really good, and posted it.
Should we do that now then? Should we actually, because I did tongue in cheek say something, should we big up the other halves?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, and
we've got our two actually pitching in because we've lost numbers and staff and help. We've actually got our two. We've roped them into helping with Be Wild next weekend. And honestly, I really think we wouldn't be able to do all of it without their help. So
I know, and you know, he wrote me a little list yesterday, Rob. I've got it here. Of all the things that I might forget to take on the Be Wild weekend. So I've got litter pickers, heavy duty bin bags.
Oh, I thought you'd come up with all those ideas in our Google Keep.
Not that he don't know I've got the Google Keep actually, so it's quite matching. But yeah, and last night when we were going to bed, he was like, I've done you a little list at the back of your book.
My husband's birthday on Friday.
And people love seeing them. I actually love seeing it when you bring Darren onto your TikTok.
Oh, he absolutely hates it.
I know, but I think that's why I like it. He's so good.
He is my one of my biggest supporters. He silently supports me in everything, even through the whole alcohol-free journey. Like, he said I was an addict when I was drinking, and it was like, now he just, we do so much together, and he's always there supporting me. So yeah, I should give him a shout out.
Oh, that's so nice. I don't know if you heard it, but it's my husband's birthday on Friday. I don't know if he's knocking around right, but he's been doing all this stuff. I'm whispering now. He's been doing all this stuff. He's a bit late because loads of people have been doing it, where you're looking into possible scenarios for survival. And honestly, he wants to get water storage tanks and he wants to get, you name it. Well, I have no idea, Steph, really, but in case there's an apocalypse, I imagine. Anyway,
Rob's a prepper, you know.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, when we first met, he had like boxes with dates on, and then he would like, and it alternated them.
Well, seriously,
like, in case honestly, and he knows how to get. His son lives over in Kendal, and he has the full route just in case anything happened, and we could walk to Kendal.
Oh my God!
Honestly, it's like a proper.
He votes if a house would be good in a zombie apocalypse. That's his
Yeah.
level of planning.
Well, my husband's always said the first thing he'd do in a zombie apocalypse is remove the stairs. We'd be upstairs, obviously, but he'd remove the stairs. That's the first thing he'd do. But then the second thing he'd do, he said, is invest in a crossbow. So that's what I've bought him for his birthday.
Oh, we've got a crossbow.
Yeah.
Rob's got a crossbow.
Has he? Ah.
Yes, we've got.
bit
I'm
weird,
pointing,
I'm
I'm
not
showing
gonna
you where
lie.
it is.
They'll have to go out together hunting bears or something.
That's weird. I feel like we've bigged them up, right, and then just took it all
Yeah.
away with the ultimate geekiness. Like,
You need that song, that Psycho Killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?
yeah. Oh my God. Right, Steph, it has been so lovely to have you on.
it
I'm
really
so
has.
glad you remembered. We're going to say bye now. Stay on just for a minute because I'll talk to you about what you messaged me for before.
Yeah, and also just to say, if this is on the podcast, my name is spelt with an F, not a PH.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll put it in the thing anyway. in the
Rookie
right
error if you do a PH, everyone. Rookie error. You won't find anyone sat here who did that.
Did you do that?
Yeah, you told me it was an F, not a PH, and I had to delete it and put it right.
Oh God.
Oh,
Right, thank
right,
you
see
so
you
much. Before we
later.
go, Steph, I just need to ask you, be brave, be kind, or be sober. What would you be right now? Which would you choose? Which one do you most relate to? That's the question, isn't
I
it?
don't know. You asked it now in 3 different ways. Just, which one do you choose?
Yeah, which one?
Be kind, because I have had some not kind stuff recently and it's not nice on your mental health. So I think be kind.
It is a very good one. And I'm
It is a
sorry
good
you've
one.
not had nice stuff.
I'm sorry as well, but I also think be brave's quite, there for you as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
And be sober. I like them all.
They're all
Yeah,
right, aren't
yeah,
they?
we'll take them all. Oh,
Yeah, it's
thanks,
why it's our
Steph.
motto, isn't
See you later.
it? Bye. Oh, guess what I can't do, Lisa?